How do I stop feeding my baby to sleep? A question I'm getting asked time and time again. Equally, this is similar to how do I stop feeding my baby or my toddler so much milk throughout the night? I'm a health visitor in England. Let's get into it. Now, I just want to establish here, if your baby is feeding in the night for milk and they're below the age of 1, I do not recommend stopping feeding throughout the night. Yes, there are things we can do to help lengthen those sleep cycles and stop them waking so frequently, but whilst they're going through huge gross motor and developmental changes, they require the calories, and their main source of calories is milk in that first year. I have a £5 sleep guide. It's aimed at baby to 4 months to 18 months. I'm in the process of creating one from 18 months up to 5, 6, 7 years old. Hopefully that'll be ready in the next couple of weeks. The reviews speak for themselves. The link is in my bio. It will teach you how to teach your baby to self-settle without leaving them to cry. Let's get into my handy hints and tips around this. It's okay if you want to stop feeding to sleep. Do not feel guilty for it. Amazing if you still want to keep feeding to sleep. You don't have to stop, but I understand when parents want to, why they want to. If you want to be able to put your baby down in their crib independently and then just fall asleep without having had to feed, rock, shush, give the dummy. I understand that, so let's talk about this. However your baby or your toddler is falling asleep, and this is more older babies and toddlers, however they're falling asleep at bedtime and nap time is how they're going to need to fall asleep throughout the night. That is their sleep association. So if they need a bottle and they're 1+ or even younger than that to fall asleep for a nap or bedtime, then they will still need that bottle when they wake in the night. Now, after 4 months, they go through a huge change where their sleep is now like this, which is like ours. Light periods of sleep, deep periods of sleep. Light periods of sleep, really easy to be woken in, and this is almost 45 minutes to an hour, which is why we're seeing babies wake hourly if they are unable to get themselves back to sleep or the conditions aren't quite right. Now, so if you're wanting to stop feeding to sleep, we need to break that sleep feeding association with sleep. There's lots of hints and tips out there. Some of them suggest reducing the feed, 2 to 3 minutes each time. I don't personally think that works. I think it just, you take the bottle or the breast away and they're still hungry or they're wanting to feed. It's too confusing for them. Younger babies, so for 4 months to 18 months, in my sleep guide, I recommend the pick up, put down method. Now, you literally put them down when they stop crying, you pick them up when they start, put them down when they stop crying, pick them up when they start. And you may be getting their head ever so close down to the bed and you're picking them straight back up again. This takes time because you're not leaving them to cry. As they're getting older, this may not work for them because pick up, put down just doesn't really work for older children in the same way. There are 2 different options you can do here. The first one is the disappearing chair. This is going to take time, particularly if they're older, because that sleep association of feeding or sucking or needing that comfort is going to take time to change. It's completely normal for them to still want comfort. So I would be suggesting laying with them to help them fall asleep initially, teaching them how to fall asleep without the sucking. Once they can fall asleep without that and you've broken that association after a few days, you can then look at moving yourself away. So whether you want to do the disappearing chair, we move closer and closer and closer to the door every few nights. You can take it as slowly as you want to take it. We also need to be looking at nap gaps. We also need to be looking at what the room's looking like when they're falling asleep, etc. That is all in my sleep guide. That was a real whistle-stop tour. If you have any other questions, please put them in the comments below.